echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one here that will show the proof. I am the one here that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. It was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear. The journey begins. Become the one here that will show the proof. Become the one here that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.
Sorry if I left mid-combo, I got a call.
And we are live. Welcome, everyone. It's Tuesday, and it is, well, time to go over the experiment, I think. Planning the experiment, I called it. I tried to go over this one yesterday a bit, but we were going over a debate which, as far as I know, we are going to be hosting the follow-up to the debate we heard of last night. This Saturday coming. I think it's this Saturday coming. 10 a.m. UK time, live. A follow-up to can two people simultaneously be below each other? It will be something like, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it rational to believe level is horizontal and believe in the globe? I think, is it rational? I'll just check that. So welcome everyone. We're gonna have to get that sorted. I've been a little bit busy today, That will be sorted for tomorrow. We will be billing it as an event here on this Discord channel between Mike Jones and Betty, the Proofless Globe Magician. Will be, obviously I'll have to be streaming it, so I will be in the room, but I'm hoping that we can have Emma on hand to be moderator. Only fair. And yeah, Mike Jones will be confirming all of this sort of stuff for Saturday. So, anybody got anything? I'm just going to try and confirm that at the minute. So, anybody got anything to say? Please feel free to jump on in. Well, I'm just... it's a lot of stuff here. Wow. Looks like somebody's getting into this. I propose the following subject for debate: whether it is rational to believe that level is horizontal and that the Earth is a globe. He's writing a paper, a book, a published author, and a book on this subject, rationality, wanting to debate whether it's rational to believe level is horizontal and the Earth is a globe. Capital "and" in the middle there. Only hear these debates here. This is, I think this is one of the topics that has been skirted around within this arena. Obviously, it's touchy for anybody within the arena, but for people like Betty and Mike, people that are outside of the arena, they're neither flat Earth nor globe Earth. That's what's needed. People like this in order to debate these. Well, I say debate. I think it's going to be more of a discussion, because I'm not aware of any arguments that are going to be presented, although Mike could obviously present arguments for the rationality of things. I suppose that's the best way to deal with it, is to present arguments and to show contradictions, because it's not rational to believe a contradiction. That may be one of the best ways to go. So if anybody out there is aware of contradictions that may occur in reality, or how to justify contradictions that they may come across, or a way of compartmentalizing these contradictions that are inherent within, it should be really interesting to get people into the idea of formulating arguments. 2023. And I have to say thank you to Betty and also Blue Marble for not wanting to host it, I think. I don't know. But I suppose one here, one at Blue Marble. Anyway, we were talking about the experiment of seeing as it seems like the simultaneous below has been given up on. We can now go forward with the experiment. The Rumpus Pole sighting, simultaneous Rumpus Pole sighting. It may sound like the simultaneous below, and that may be because it is, but it may be a way to accept the simultaneous below. If you thought that it was a contradiction, well, actually going with the sighting of a rumpus pole may help you rationalize a model. I'm not aware. I don't know. I don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes again. But we've been going over, I don't know. Where am I going with this? Debate. It's not going to be a debate, is it? It's going to be a discussion. And we, on the level, have been to Bedford. You may have seen some of the footage that we took while we were there. That's another thing I need to start going over and compiling that. But I'm thinking that was just a practice. That was footage that I now own, that we have for the use of in the planning of this experiment. So when we went to Bedford, we were aware of the fact that there are two bridges, and these two bridges are separated by 6 miles. There is a stretch of water in between that spans the entire 6 miles. Now, there were some blue marble scientists who decided to turn into surveyors, the blue marble surveyors for that day. Took some pictures and gave us the chance to do something I think that nobody's ever done before. It's been claimed by a lot of people to be a test that you can do, but I'm not so sure that anybody has ever done this. And it requires you to have point A and point B and 2 auto levels. One at point A and the other one at point B. You make the 2 points A and B at a similar elevation above water, which is obviously achievable, and you just point the auto levels at each other. And the way it's been told, magic occurs. Now, we don't know because we've never done this yet. We have been at point A with an auto level and pointed it at point B. And we have also been at point B and pointed the auto level at point A. That has been done. It's been tested. It is achievable in reality. But what we are going to do is simultaneously give you the chance of watching what occurs when you simultaneously look at B from A and A from B. It's been claimed by a lot of people, and there are not many people that are even aware of this experiment. But it is a blue marble experiment within the new science, the new modern science. The blue marble science, if you want to. I think there was a blue marble scientist by the name of Rumpus who gave his name to this opposite side to the equipotential angle. A rumpus pole, the unit of measurement of the separation of level from horizontal. I don't know where Rumpus is at the moment. I think he's on a Jesse Kozlowski vacation break. He may be gone for some time, as happens when you go on a Jesse Kozlowski vacation break. So sadly, it doesn't look like Rumpus can actually do any of this stuff to come and explain his test. He does have some videos prepared from 1.5 years ago. They are of amazing production value, as has been claimed by Blue Marble Science and George, God rest his soul. I don't want to say that the sighting of the Rumpus videos occurred, helped George in the end days. We don't know. But the people that have seen the Rumpus test footage claim it's amazing and definitely real. I think that was one of the claims, that the Rumpus footage was definitely real because it had been cited by certain people.
Right.
Yeah. Verified by a Blue Marble scientist.
Indeed.
And I see we've got the representative here in the chat as well, Brad, the science guy.
He's back, is he?
Yeah, it's in the live chat.
Nice.
Is level horizontal at a point? So level is horizontal.
Wow.
At that point and another point, right? All you need is 2 points where level is horizontal, and you can join them up, and that's a line.
Certainly is.
Yep. So Brad's talking about, is it rational? It's getting it started off. To believe that line from A to B is a horizontal line. As Emma says, how can it not be? If you make 2 points, A and point B, and then place a perpendicular making machine. Well, I don't know whether it makes a perpendicular, but it makes a horizontal. If you place an auto level at one end at point A and point B, what would happen? Just think to yourself, what would happen? This is a Blue Marble science experiment that you can be involved in. First off, it requires you to imagine what would happen with those 2 points. Well, I think first one is you answer Emma's question. It's like, how can that line at an equal altitude above the water at A and B, how can that line, the shortest distance from A to B, how can that not be horizontal? That's the first question. And then you ask yourself, if you were to place a horizontal plane making machine at that equal point at both A and B, because you've already asked yourself, how can that line from A to B not be horizontal? Well, then you put an auto level at A and an auto level at B. What would happen? What would you predict would happen? And would that prediction rely on anything other than a preconceived rule book that you would start off with? No argument to be made. It's just a question. You've set up the scenario. What would occur? What do you imagine would occur? First off, you'd ask people, why would you do that? Well, It's a blue marble science experiment. It's often been claimed that this has been done, but when anybody goes looking for any evidence of this experiment being performed anywhere, it's just not there. So that's what we here on the level have been practicing to do. Obviously, we are not flat earthers, so this is not an experiment for the flat earth. We don't expect flat earthers to be coming on board with this. Although somebody said that when we had to make sure at least one flat earther to be present. That's Nico. I don't know if anybody's aware of that. So, yeah. So I was thinking if Beddy as well, if Beddy wants to come, because he's in the UK, he can come up and see the experiment being performed. We're calling it reciprocal rumpus pole sighting experiment of the blue marble science. Not saying that you should place this experiment on any particular model, but it is a claim quite often made by the blue marble surveyors. Bedford Canal, the historic site of Bedford Canal, where Wallace proved the curvature. Let me one of the top guy, probably most of you might have seen flatearth.ws. Who's done this here? It says in 1870, Alfred Russell Wallace, took a challenge from a flat earther and successfully confirmed the existence of Earth's curvature in the Bedford level experiment. So that's called the Bedford level experiment, but that's a hump. I mean, that's no good. We've been told the hump doesn't exist. That's not a hump where it's higher in the center. So what we want to do is we want to match the knot hump to prove the knot double drop, or not the double nutsack, as we colloquially call it. So it says, Wallace did the experiment on the Bedford Canal. He fixed a black band on the old Bedford Bridge and observed it with a telescope from the Welney Bridge, 6 miles away. Right in the middle, he placed up a pole with 2 discs on it, the telescope and the top disc and the black band were at the same height above the water, i.e. an equal altitude above the water. Those 3 things. We only need 2. We managed to do it. 2/3. And then there's obviously some pictures here of what they did. Well, Rumpus was doing just one way. He was doing the auto level, as you can see here, at the bridge. And then Rumpus was at the other end, or only 5 miles away, actually. They walked for a mile from one end of the bridge, probably for a little bit of alone time. Farmer's Boy and Rumpus. Keep out of the way of people, then. You don't have to explain what you're doing. Well, we're going to go right from the bridge We're going to miss out the middleman, or the middle rumpus pole. I don't think it's necessary, because it just confuse everybody if you had a hump in the middle whilst you're looking for the drop. I think people will get confused if you tried to perform both of these things at the same time. So what we're doing is we're going to go with the rumpus pole idea, the double drop, and completely forget about Wallace. We'll forget that he even proved, what does it say? Confirmed the existence of Earth curvature. We'll forget about what Wallace has done, because it seems to defy the laws of physics, putting a hump in the middle of the water. We'll pretend that never happened, and we're going to go with the double reciprocal rumpus pole sighting, but not from a mile. Like we're just going to go straight from the bridges, from one bridge to the other. I can't be arsed walking. It seems like a waste, doesn't it, walking a mile down the canal to erect a rumpus pole? Just go big. Just go for the full 6 mile. So what we're doing here tonight is the planning for this. So if anybody wants to come forward and point out anything that we may need to put on the to be aware of, right, in order to do this experiment properly. I mean, what we have to do is, I know we're not going to be accepted, but we have to place ourselves as Blue Marble scientists. We're performing a dogmatic globe experiment like Wallace did. Except I'm hoping not to go through all of the court battles backwards and forwards with the slander, and I'm hoping to keep away from all of that. And we're just going to go and do the reciprocal sighting. Let you guys see it on Discord. Hopefully this time Emma maybe, and maybe other people streaming it live out there. Because the idea of this is we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for everyone. Like Wallace back in the day. He did it. He did it for everyone. And I mean, everyone really should be able to see a rumpus pole. A reciprocated rumpus pole. Oh, hopefully soon, Paige. I'm hoping we can get this done before the end of summer, at least. I'm hoping to get Emma in a dinghy. Don't know whether we got a bikini. We might get Emma in an on the level bikini in a dinghy. Paddling around during the day. And then late at night, we'll do the laser waving. We do obviously have some more optic tests that I think we should do. No. Emma says no. I think that's no to the bikini. She's definitely going to get in the dinghy and wave a laser. So, the idea is we need 2 auto levels. We need 2 rumpus poles. We need 2 mounts for the camera for the auto levels. And we're going to need 2 cell phones to be able to be placed on the auto levels. Anybody else see anything else we're going to need? 2 dinghies. 2 lasers. Everything has to be done in pairs, doesn't it? Because we have to reciprocate this.
I have a question about auto levels.
Yeah.
You are going to shoot auto level in each other? two auto levels
At
each
each
other.
other, yes. Don't worry, no measuring rods are involved.
Okay, but then Rumpus poles are not needed because they will do us Rumpus poles.
What, the auto levels?
Yeah. Because in order to because the claim Rumpus claim is that one pole is higher than another, than more distant, and you can prove that this drop of let's say Rumpus pole or auto level is due to perspective, because if you put two auto levels on the same elevation, reciprocating, as you said. So globe claim is that you should, your crosshair from each of them should shoot auto level on the other side. This is their claim. But it is
Oh, wait a minute.
not
Whose claim?
Blue Marble Science claim, this whole argument about Blackpool Tower, that this crosshair is too high, and it means that we are dealing with a drop because of curvature, is based on that. So if you put two auto levels in distance, let's say a few miles or whatever, not even few miles. I would say that they will drop immediately, because this is due to perspective. Anyway, you can do this experiment, let's say, even at home. I would say that these crosshairs would not meet each other in perspective. So it is never to be expected due to optics. So this claim is bunk, because if you set two auto levels reciprocating, they and ideally horizontal at the same elevation, they will not meet when you will be looking through one auto level. You will not see auto level on the same height, and vice versa. It will be below if you are at the same elevation and both are ideally horizontal. Crosshairs will not meet with length of the other auto level. It is not to be expected due to perspective.
Curvature.
No, due to perspective. But globe claim is that this is not due to perspective, but due to curvature. This is their claim.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to help them. Simultaneous below.
Yes, that we can say that. Yes, in optics. In optics, yes.
Well, in reality, right? You will literally see the simultaneous below.
Yes, see, yes, but not real. This is optic drop. Not.
You will really see it. We'll show it you.
Yeah, I expected that. Yes, I expected that. If they are on the same elevation, and if they are pretty much horizontal without any errors, or as you can do, as accurately as you can do with auto levels. So my expectation is that they will not meet. This it will be a drop from each other. I expect that.
Yeah,
and this is not due to curvature.
You're predicting the simultaneous below.
Yeah, Of course.
Yeah.
See, in optics, yes. To
See,
see.
so everybody is sort of on board with the experiment. It
Yeah,
seems like it will be a success.
yes, full
Mhm.
success. Yes, I can predict
Because they've
success.
been
Yes.
saying that for ages, right? This blue marble scientific experiment has been talked about but never actually performed. So it's been sort of like a myth. I mean, it sounds contradictory, like the debate that Betty was about to try and.
Yes, but as we heard from him, he was confusing being below in reality with being below in optics. So this is the confusion.
Mhm.
Because optical drop is a normal thing.
Yeah,
And,
well, perhaps if we go out there and actually let people see this is a thing, then you'd think that the blue marble science argument will be bolstered by this. You know, this is a dogmatic globe proof. It must occur, and it obviously does occur. It seems like everybody's in agreement that it must occur also.
Yes, and it was in Jesse Kozłowski, his, let's say, video clip about this drop. So this is originally, I would say, his claim few years ago, when he was drawing this red line between middle crosshair and horizon. And this was his drop from horizontal. So, but this is of course drop due to perspective, but not due to curvature. But this is their claim. So yes, you can say that you will bolster their claim. But I will be happy to debunk this claim. I expect that will be drop. Yes, it has to occur. If we have same elevation and two auto levels shooting each other at the same elevation and both horizontal, yes, they will drop regarding the other auto level. So normal perspective drop. I expect that. I would be very surprised if it will be not. For me, that would be a miracle.
Right. Well, the guys in the chat are asking what's the accuracy of the auto levels. I was also asked this earlier on today, but obviously, as I wrote, the noble art of tool abuse has no accuracy rating. That same goes for distance, right? The armchair blue marble surveyor needs no justification for extending the use of tools, nor does he need to explain the pictures that the blue marble surveyor provides or starts off with is the proof of it actually. Rumpus won't do it, Paige. That's why we are going to do this. We're doing the reciprocated Rumpus polls as a an art project, or I don't know, an experiment. It's an experiment, a blue marble science surveying experiment.
Yes, someone has to fix it already. Because everyone is talking about that, but nobody is doing that. So yes, you are doing it on behalf of
the blue marble. Yeah. Rumpus isn't going to do his test, and this we may as well kill two birds with one stone. the reciprocated auto levels has been talked about very often. So we're going to do it. They won't do it, so we will do it. But the real thing was Blue Marble replied to that. I've not actually had a chance to reply. It's been a bit of a busy day. He says, would you like to come over to my server one day and have a discussion with me? Says Blue Marble Science. Same goes for Rob. Rob? Keen? Perhaps? In fact, let's make it a 2-on-1. I don't know what he's sort of after over there. That might be a little more fair for you guys. I'm not too sure what Blue Marble's talking about. I have no need to go over to Blue Marble HQ. We're doing our own experiments. We have no need for Blue Marble Science, the Blue Marble Science guy, because we're doing it. Yeah, Paige, you're right. You did invite him in here, and he'd say he'd never come in here if it was the last place on earth. But now, he's out inviting me over there. I don't know. I don't know what would happen with the discussion of Blue Marble Science.
This is strange choice because before it was SE with Mobius, I think. So he's changing persons to choose. For I cannot see any reason why you and Rob, for example. I don't mind, of course, but before it was said that SE Montreal and Mobius or even Asken, whatever, but now just you and Rob. Why that choice now suddenly?
Yeah, I don't know what Blue Marble could be wanting to talk about. I think he might have been spurred on with the fact that Mike was talking to Betty.
And then Rob called him dumb.
Did he?
Are we talking about me, Rob, or another Rob?
It might be you. Did you call Blue Marble dumb?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
had
not to his face, but Blue Marble Science was listening because when we were going through this discussion between Mike and Betty, so yes, Rob called Blue Marble Science dumb.
But what? Okay, he is not dumb in this. I want to rephrase. His statement was utter stupidity. I don't want to call Blue dumb because he's probably got some smarts about some things, but his statement was utter stupidity.
Globe.
Yeah.
It's just globe.
Like Fight the Flat Earth claiming the Earth is 50% water.
You brought us a clip, didn't you?
Yeah, his brag. I got so much to talk about with that one, but I don't really think you guys care. And I don't blame you, but I just found it really amusing that people are still willing to debate him. Like Bro Sanchez is going to debate him. Here, I got a screenshot that I just want to post, and then I'm done.
All right. Blue Marble says it wasn't me. It was you and Eric. It just seems like it was a comment to me because it was right underneath my comment. But I'm guessing Blue Marble obviously wants to talk to you, Rob, and Eric over on his server. He wants to lure you in. Maybe because he's got like
he doesn't actually want to talk to me.
Do you reckon?
He wants to try and make an example out of me.
Oh, do you reckon he could do that? I think
no.
He might have a like a McToon tracker on his Discord server. You never know. He might be wanting to find your IP address out.
Oh yeah, come to my house. Come to my work. I'm not worried. Trolls don't do shit.
Look, it's
I could be like Mark Sargent and put my address and my telephone number on my YouTube videos, every video. And do you think that the trolls go to Mark Sargent's house or phone Mark Sargent? Nope.
Where have you got that clip? Do you know where it is? Or is it here? Is that the clip?
Well, the bragging about fighting
Yeah.
his neighbor.
Come on, give us
Don't
that. Cause
threaten me.
yeah.
No, but the whole time he spent at Bro Sanchez's last night, I was just laughing.
Did you watch all of that? Was that the paid for thing? Did you pay $25 to watch that?
No, that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet.
So that one that you watched last night, where he was, it
was just a round table type deal, and FTFE just happened to jump in there,
and he was doing it for free.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good of him. Have you got that clip, or should I go and find it? Can you remember
if you could
where it was?
Just scroll back up.
Was it
was it in live chat?
In the live chat, right? I'll get it.
Yeah.
That was
yesterday,
a lot earlier on, like really early, wasn't it? I
think it was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, like 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning for you, probably. All right, I'm gonna be MIA for a second.
Okay, no problem. It'll take me a bit to get there. It's Discord's birthday as well. I can hand out. I'll get you one of them in a minute, Kev. 3. Oh, here we go. Auto levels. There it is.
Emma got it. It's up there.
Boy that sits on the computer, but I was recently arrested for beating my neighbor into a pulp so much that he had to go to hospital. So please don't threaten people online, okay? And with
you globe earthers, you know what? If the earth, listen,
boy that sits on the computer, but I was recently arrested for beating my neighbor into a pulp so much that he had to go to hospital. So please don't threaten people online, okay?
He wasn't just arrested.
Who?
Like the flat Earth. He said he was just recently arrested for beating his neighbour to a pulp. Have you listened to it? I'll put it on there. Go in the Here you go. Have a listen to that. Rob Keane had to listen to her all the way through it to clip that part out. Fight the Flat Earth bragging about like you shouldn't come over as an internet tough guy because Fight the Flat Earth has literally been arrested.
He's a real tough guy
for beating his neighbour to a pulp, right? So all you need is a combination of McToon checking your IP address, and then they'll send Fight the Flat Earth over to beat you to a pulp. He's a literal Fight the Flat Earther. I don't know. I'm not saying anything about his neighbour, whether his neighbour, what cosmology or whatever his neighbour believed. We don't know. He could just be fighting anyone, right? Random people. Just fighting random people in his real life. Right? The fact that he's a vile, horrible, disgusting person on the YouTube to anybody that he meets, well, that is how he is in reality too. And just so you know, he's doing a debate in 3 days where you can buy your tickets now. $25. Bro Sanchez is selling tickets for a debate with Fight the Flat Earth. Fight the Flat Earth
I'd like to also,
and Bro Sanchez. I bet you'll be going to watch that, right, Rob? You do all of those sort of things. You're into the. Are you supporting your man, Bro Sanchez? Anyone else? I won't. I'm a carer. I can't afford to be $25. Isn't that like a UFC night? Prime card on for boxing or some sort of sporting event, and they're selling tickets for Fight the Flat Earth versus Bro Sanchez. Yeah, I mean they need it, don't they? They need each other. They help each other, support each other. Definitely not jealous. For anybody listening. Yeah. Emma points out there, yeah. They're both supporting anybody that talks with Fight the Flat Earth now is literally supporting a convicted criminal, convicted
Can
of
I-
assault.
give me 1 second. I would also like to point out to the fact that the moderator will be Jaron Campanella from Jaronism.
No way. Jaron and Bro
Yes
Sanchez
way.
are hosting a criminal and
No.
selling tickets.
Bro Sanchez is not hosting. He's a participant.
Oh, who's hosting then?
Host Jaronism.
Oh, Jaronism is selling tickets for Fight the Flat Earth and Bro Sanchez.
Wait, I must correct the record. There is a production company involved in this, which I think may belong to Bro Sanchez.
Yeah. Wow. That's doing well then, right? The Flat Earth is doing well. Making money. And I guess they're right? You need each other. The Flat Earth and the Globe Earth need each other. And
the really sad thing is, Bev, people are going to actually pay that.
yeah. Yeah, the spectacle of it all. It needs to
I bet you
survive.
they'll get at least 100 viewers.
It
at
needs
least.
to do well.
Yeah.
And with Fight the Flat Earth, billing it up like that he's a convicted criminal, debating like he's living up to his name. That's genius. So something to look forward to. Debate. We just carry on doing the things. Perhaps they can debate the simultaneous below instead of Betty.
I would say that they can debate anything, but they will not deliver a killing blow to each other because the narration must go on. So they will perpetuate these pseudo arguments, weak arguments or non-arguments just for entertainment, but they don't want real arguments. Of course, on the Globe side, there are no arguments, but let's say Flat Earth side has arguments against Globe. These arguments are not for Flat Earth, but they are just killing blows for the Globe. And I didn't hear any of them for years now.
Yeah, people will be watching, paying $25 to watch a debate with no arguments. fantastic. If you
or
if you
weak,
can sell
weak.
something like that,
It's the not that. Hey, wait. It's the not that debate.
but I don't know what the debate is.
Yeah, it's the not that.
Well, the no
Someone,
subject.
someone should, sorry, someone should suggest to Jaren that maybe the funds they make out of it should go towards the victim.
Mm. Yeah, fight the flat Earth's victim.
Or a charity that helps victims of crime.
Assault.
Yes.
Victims of violent assault.
I don't think you're talking about the right types of people for what's that word? Altruistic support of other people.
I think that the Fight the Flat Earth was talking about widely about his assault because he made money from that. So I don't expect that he will give as charity gift to the victim. No,
I don't
quite opposite.
get how we did sort of predict the fact that he was bragging about it with Ranty when he did that first thing. So now it looks like he's using it as a selling point now about how tough an internet guy he is, right? He's tougher than an
How much money
internet
you made
guy.
on that one stream?
Yeah. That was the most money he'd ever earned. He did say that. It was his best super chat night. And it looks like it's catapulted him into the big time. He's now billed as a paid debater. He's like a professional debater now. That's good, isn't it? That's good going, considering you haven't got an argument and never have had one.
I can understand people wanting to talk to these people, like Fight the Flat Earth. Everybody, wants their chance or has things to say to him because he's not a very nice person. But then to promote it and sell it and charge people and all of that stuff, I just find, I don't know, wrong. Very wrong.
It is 2023.
I think, and this is a sad comment, that we will expect in the future more of things like that. Not only in this arena, but generally, mentality of people changes. So that's effect.
I'm really sorry. I have to deke out for 5 minutes and call my boss. I didn't want to miss any of this, but I will be back in 5 minutes.
Okay. We'll keep it on hold for you, Rob. What we should be doing really is pointing out, like, I think once we point out that there is no arguments. I mean, how long ago was it been since we did the Turkey Bob? That's putting the challenge out that there is no globe earthers with any arguments, evidence, proof, geometric of their model. And there's been no rebuttal. There's no black swan presented for that statement. Because there is no argument. Yet, these things are still being billed as debates. But this is new, modern debate. This is where we hand off these non-arguments, or like paper says, really weak arguments. Like straw men arguments, I suppose. That's the best way to put it. that are made up by this arena, are made up within this arena. We were witness to it today over in a different server. I wasn't over there myself, but I was listening to it, where a genuine argument that exposes a contradiction gets shut down because they aren't the arguments that are wanted. And I can guarantee you will never hear the argument in any of these debates, so-called debates.
Logic in the debates. Like, I wish they would debate the t-shirt logic.
They can't.
Well, I know.
They can't, but we will be showing them.
To hear.
I think once we perform the reciprocating rumpus pole sighting experiment, I think then t-shirt logic will be complete, finished as a complete package. And so that, for that reason, it will definitely get done this year. And I have noticed that Rumpus has actually done a Jesse Kozlowski. He's gone on a Jesse Kozlowski vacation break. And this Rumpus pole sighting test will be getting wrote up more. If you do not know what a rumpus pole is, feel free, Google it. There is a full explanation defined, and try and use Google. Don't use any other apps, and you will see. I don't know whether I've wrote it in actually. If I put it, it's the opposite side. The opposite side to the equipotential angle of adjustment. If you don't know what the equipotential angle of adjustment is, Google that. Always. The favourite thing of the blue marble scientist. And I'm willing to have a conversation with anyone about this dogmatic globe earth requirement. Also taking predictions. 6 miles is the distance, so we're going to do is it a tombola, or is it what's it called? Who's going to be the closest to predicting the rumpus pole? Do you want to have a go, Paper? Would you, where would you say that is that how you do it? Where would the crosshairs be if you saw a rumpus pole?
Because
6 miles.
This is question is what length and what length of the focus is.
6 miles, 32 times we have on there.
Okay. Distance is not relevant in that case. What is more relevant is focal point, length of focal point in camera and in auto level, etc. Because this optical drop is, of course, is because of distance, but you can change this drop in camera using different focal points. So until we don't know what focal point length is in auto level, I don't know that. So I cannot say
Yeah, I
at
don't know
which
that either.
I don't know at which rate this drop will occur. So it will occur, but at which rate, I don't know.
Are you saying
Because-
that the radius of the Earth can change because of the different auto levels?
No.
Are
But
you saying
yes,
that the rumpus pole length might change for differing auto levels?
this optical drop, yes, it will change due to length of the focal point.
Okay, well let's say rumpus has a 24 times scope auto level, and we've got a 32 times scope auto level. Obviously, when we do reciprocate in auto levels, we're going to do both of them at 32 times scope. I'll have to have them, and I will have two identical auto levels. I'll get the datum AL32 because that's one of the best deals available. Zenith surveying thing. If you click the link in the on the website, you'll be able to go straight through, buy yourself one. Maybe you can buy yourself a couple of rumpus pole dancers. That's what we'll do. I think we will do that. Who can get the? We might have like a Rob Keem helium balloon at the top of the rumpus pole dancer, and then we can work out who can get the highest, who can get the closest to the length of the crosshairs for the Rob Keem helium balloon in the crosshairs. All done proper experiments, like. I reckon that would work, wouldn't it?
Yes, and of course, helium balloon is good to because Blue Marble Science calls it gravity. So, and they call it gravity due to this Newtonian gravity. And helium balloon is very, very well placed because sadly he defies gravity, Newtonian gravity. But
well, it's because all of the air. I've heard this one. The air has more gravity. The gravity affects the air much more than the helium balloon. So it pulls the air down underneath the helium balloon.
yes, I know that argument. Yes,
Yeah.
but still, this Newtonian gravity affects all things, so all matter. So air and helium balloon also. So there is no explanation why this balloon is going up instead of going down with Newtonian gravity. But that's okay. I would say that helium balloon is always a reminder that this Newtonian gravity is a joke.
Well, the rumpus pole dancers also.
Yes, that's very, very good. It makes experiment more interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know whether we should we'll probably we could do it like a free t-shirt to the winner of the one who gets the closest to the height of the we can't have a height though, that's the thing. What we'll just have to do, we'll have to have like a rumpus pole, and we'll just have to put like put your line on the you could do a cheeky line. We get a red line and put you can have your own cheeky line on the picture and see how close you would be to the rumpus pole. Where would you place the rumpus pole in the crop? There you go. It's like a pin the tail on the donkey, except it's place the rumpus pole dancer on the crosshairs or in the crosshairs. And then what we'll do is we'll take a picture of it, and then we'll match it and see who had the closest.
The closer Rumpus pole will have this lower. And
no, they're both 6 miles away from each other.
Yes, but they will be seen from auto level, I guess, or
Yeah.
a camera. Yes, so if from auto level with crosshairs on horizontal, so my prediction is that the first dancing, what would be dancer? First dancer would be lower on this rumpus pole, and the second would be higher, or maybe even it would have to fly, because maybe it would be just above this second rumpus pole. If first rumpus pole would be, for example, just in front of auto level, and the second rumpus pole would be at the 6 miles distance. So maybe it would be even just above rumpus pole. I don't know. Maybe that would be or should be flying dancer on helium balloon.
Well, anybody want to name it? I'm thinking the Rumpus Pole Dancers. Perhaps we may need to show people what we're looking at. Me just because we've heard it's around about 17 feet, and we were looking for something that was around about that, because what we have to do, we will have to obviously adjust the height of the rumpus pole to fit and accommodate with the auto level. Now, I've been asking a few blue marble scientists and the geometers of the blue marble as to exactly how long a rumpus pole would be at the distance of 6 miles. I had a guy called Nico around, who is helping us out with the mathematics. Blue Marble has given me a distance of a rumpus pole for the full 6.04 miles, but I don't think we're going to go for that. We're just going to go from the auto level to auto level, reciprocating, and put the rumpus poles directly as close as possible to the actual auto level to keep it scientific.
Yes, that's why I said that auto levels would do as rumpus poles in that case. But okay, for let's say more scientific approach, rumpus poles would be needed. Yes, and dancers.
Well, I'll show you what we're meaning when we actually go and copy. Let's see whether this actually goes in the live chat. Oh, not that. Let me give me another one. I'll maybe this one. I'm not too sure how clear it is. Yeah, there you go. That looks a bit better. You see that in the live chat there?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
no,
that's what's
classic.
known as a rumpus pole, a dancer. They are powered, obviously, by blowers. They're 18 inches in diameter, and they are 20 feet tall. I'm not too sure whether that's 20 feet to the frilly hair or 20 feet to eye level of the rumpus pole dancer, but that's what we're proposing as the rumpus poles. That will be, I think you should easily be able, we've took the idea that you will definitely be able to sight a rumpus pole dancer from the other end. And again, we're thinking of being able to put a large helium balloon at the head of the rumpus pole. That's probably a bit bigger for making it for easier sighting. So if you want to have your face on a balloon and sighted at top of a rumpus pole for the first time in history, you could have your face printed. We will sort that out. What's the largest helium balloon we could get, and get it printed. Whether we could get somebody's face printed on it. We might be able to put the face on either side of it. I don't know. Multiple sponsorship deals available. If you would like to see your face aloft a rumpus pole dancer sighted 6 miles away from an auto level, we could make that dream come true, if that's what you've been after. So, reciprocated rumpus pole sightings.
Yes, that's yes. I like this rumpus pole in this version. Yes, colorful. Yes,
Yeah,
easy to see. Even you can measure or
comes
estimate.
out at a height, right? You'll be able to see it. It'll be moving around, won't it? Wiggling, it'll be dancing there at the other end. You've seen these in action, obviously. And we would obviously draw a crowd, perhaps. I don't know if the local newspaper would be available. Maybe even the BBC. And this is be historic. And we will be streaming it live to Discord through the auto level. Obviously, I'll be at one end. Somebody else will be at the other end. We won't be able to see what the other people see, but we can both stream to Discord. This very Discord, the On The Level Discord server, will have 2 reciprocated auto levels sighting 2 rumpus poles streamed live to this Discord channel. Free of charge. What do you reckon? Can we put some tickets? Do you fancy putting a ticket on the door, Emma? Price for entry, or should we just like leave it open like we have done every other time we've done everything else?
$50 tickets, I say.
Who wouldn't want to say that you were there when the rumpus poles were sighted?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been talked about how many times maybe just because of the conversations that you have, but I've been told loads of times that people have done this already. It's dead easy to prove the globe. You just get two auto levels and look them at each other. And you go, okay, then show us it. Let's have a look. Let's see this video. I mean, they can't provide it. Well, we can. We can provide that thing that it's like a holy grail, isn't it?
Yes, you are doing what Jesse Kozłowski with this main surveyor were trying to do, and they failed. So
Yeah,
that would be much better.
a historic site.
Incredible,
Yeah,
incredible site. Yeah.
yeah. Anybody can come in here and record it. They'll be able to do it. They'll be able to say, I was there. I saw it live. Saw them doing it. I could talk to them as they were doing it. From Discord. This Discord. So, I'm thinking we maybe need a drone as well for artistic shots of the Rumpus poles and us on the bridge, because you'd never really get that, only from the other end. P1000s 6 miles.
Maybe you should call Ranty. He might want to lend you his.
Yeah. I think we should just put it on the give, send, go. I think we're going to have to, obviously, we're going to need backers for this. These Rumpus pole dancers don't come cheap. In fact, I don't know how much they are. Let me just have a look, see whether there's a price on that one. Custom, 20 foot tall. Look how away. 16 feet, no blower. 194 quid. That can't be right, can it?
For a pole.
For just the thing, that's only 16 foot as well. No blower. Easter Bunny, 10 foot, 130 quid. I'm not so sure that's the right place for us to go. But anyway, that's what we are proposing. Unless Rumpus is around. If Rumpus can get his video out of the making and the manufacturing of the Rumpus pole, the actual Rumpus pole, we might be able to have them, but I'm not too sure they'll be as visible as the Rumpus pole that we've got. And I don't think it would be structurally stable for us. Perhaps that's why he went a mile in from the end of the thing. And I don't think it would be allowed to erect a structure with a 5x3 board on the bridge. It may not be structurally safe. But I don't know. We did hear that Rumpus was over engineering his Rumpus pole. So if anybody knows where Rumpus is on his Jesse Kozłowski break, if they can get a message to him about putting one of his videos out, the Rumpus pole manufacture and design video would be helpful, or any video about anything to do with the rec test. Brad's in the chat asking for it.
Now I see what you're saying. The blower. I'm saying, what is he talking about? A blower on a pole? Now I see what you're saying. Those things dance around, by the way. They don't stay like vertical.
I know, that's why they're called the Rumpus pole dancers.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, I mean, for reducto ad absurdum, viewing a Rumpus pole dancer, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I couldn't have got anything better. So all we need to do is acquire 2 of these. And I think we could make use of them, because like this, as all experiments, this is something that can be done in loads of different places. I mean, we could do it. All you need is a distance apart. You need to make sure that you are at an equal elevation, and that you can get to the auto level. So once we've been equipped for this thing, we should be able to sort of travel the country, really, doing this, showing everybody what can be seen through 6 miles. We'll be able to prove the simultaneous drop multiple times to loads of different people. Everybody should be able to see this. I mean, if you Google Rumpus Pole, you'll be able to see what the idea is, and I will be updating that site. Obviously, the more hits it gets, the better it does, and the higher up the list it goes. And we'll be getting more images. Maybe have some fan images, like Mike's just said. Print Rumpus image on the dancer. All of these ideas can be looked at, obviously. Brad the Science Guy's drawing his equipotential triangle. He's showing where the Rumpus Pole is.
Yes, but the problem is that, for example, in that distance, let's say 6 miles, this optical drop is greater than supposed drop due to curvature, because this drop is based on diverging verticals. So, and the angle between these 2 auto levels would be too small to justify the drop. That's the problem for globers, because it is too close. Because if it is 1 degree divergence from vertical in 69 miles, something like that. So for 6 miles, that would be 1 of 10, yes, of that. So even if you can reciprocate these 2 auto levels in even shorter distance, the drop would be too big according to their calculations. So this is the problem, that these drop what Brad the Science guy has drawn is not accurate with the model, because it will not be the same in reality. It does not match the globe model.
Look, there you go. There's the
Yeah.
equipotential angle of adjustment, and there's the Rumpus Pole.
Yes, of course, but this drop is would be too big on the small distance.
So would you project a larger Rumpus Pole or a
No.
shorter Rumpus Pole? What would you do?
No, it doesn't matter. It means that due to curvature and diverging verticals, this drop would be smaller.
Smaller. You would shorten your Rumpus Pole. Because I was also taught the other day by Nico that temperature and pressure, actually, pressure shortens your Rumpus Pole.
Oh, Refraction?
No, pressure.
Not refraction.
Pressure.
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 So,
Then-
so if you have more pressure, air pressure, then the rumpus pole would be shorter.
There are many
Oh,
things that
okay,
shorten
okay.
your rumpus pole. Yes, there's not much that lengthens it.
Okay, so this is technical problem.
Yeah.
I would say it has to be resolved quickly.
Well, we are still learning about this because obviously this being a new science, a new modern science, it's still much up for discussion. So people are telling us lots about these, the rumpus poles, because there's obviously issues with where you're positioning it, how you're calculating it, where you imagine you put it once you've calculated it. Now, whether the length of it stays the same when you position it on a model differently than when you calculate it. How you calculate it. If Paige is out there, Paige will be one of the ones that knows the problems of the rumpus pole. Stated, I get that. I think Mick West brought that into. So I don't know whether. I've done loads of stuff, but I never managed to get to. Never seems to be the right time. See, there you go. There's the problem. Paige's proof. The positioning of the rumpus pole problem. I think we've been over it before. It's calculated being perpendicular to surface level, but then when you factor in the equipotential angle of adjustment, it's mentally positioned in a different place. And me personally, never actually using fantasy mathematical calculators. I'm unaware of how to do it. I only live in reality, so I completely rely on all of the new mathematical geniuses to help me out with the actual numbers. I just do the rhetoric.
But still, this picture looks fantastic.
It does,
So,
doesn't it? You can
yeah.
see the problem of the positioning of the rumpus pole within
Yes.
the picture, can't you?
Yes, it is not vertical, or it is vertical, but in different locations. So it is not parallel to original vertical or vertical of the viewer, and the length of this rumpus pole is not matching this vertical drop. So this is serious problem here. This leaning out rumpus pole is not good, but still the picture is fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of the major shadow giants of modern times. A modern day, a living shadow giant. Modern times. So we've got, thanks to Mick West for the the drop being perpendicular to surface level. And the positioning of the rumpus pole. It's been a long time since we had Paige around here. And some of the simple proofs that we went around and we worked over, I think people may begin to see the reasoning behind finding these geometric proofs. We've got Virus in the chat. Welcome, Virus. What do you reckon about the? See, because I've also heard that the equipotential angle of adjustment, which you should Google, it's already got a lofty position. But if you want to know what the equipotential angle of adjustment is, just try Googling it. Or I can have a go at explaining it. It's the adjustment, like as Brad posted here. I think this is a Jesse Kozlowski picture. You can see that at one place, I think I should put A and B on that. Let me just get that picture back again. I'll just put A and B, since as you know that the equipotential angle is A and B. I'll post that in the chat for anybody unaware. So this is A and B. They are at an equal elevation. For this particular example, like Emma speaks of at Bedford Canal in the latest Buster Advanced Simplicity song, you should listen to it. And
yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
I've been hooked on The Greatest Speech Ever for like a week now.
I think I think I overdid it. Yeah, the song, the Buster's riff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great. Sorry to
interrupt. So you have this line, A and B. And as Brad pointed out, this here, this horizontal plane, is the equipotential surface at A. And this one here is B. That's the equipotential surface at B. Now, as you can see, you've got a line also from A to B. This is what we call the mean equipotential surface. That's the straight line connecting your 2 points at equal elevation. The mean equipotential. And to oppose that, we have the equipotential surface at A and the equipotential surface at B. Now, you can see that there is an angle formed here. This we call the equipotential angle of adjustment. It is the adjustment angle from the equipotential surface at A to the equipotential surface at B. And the triangle formed by the extension of the equipotential surface at A and the equipotential surface at B is known as a vertical equipotential triangle, because it's made up entirely of equipotential angles of adjustment. That is the equipotential angle of adjustment. This has been spoken of a lot, but mainly in myth sort of thing. It's never been named before. Some may call it the magic angle, you know. Some may call it, like Nathan Oakley, the angle that you can do things with. As in, you can make an equipotential triangle with it. Of course. As well as naming it, the equipotential angle.
Stops people from dying when you're on a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. It gives you the mental ability to position and sight a rumpus pole. Because, as Brad shows here, the drop is the size of a rumpus pole. This is the measurement, the difference. I know it's got a horizontal plane and a horizontal plane, and it looks like it's the difference between two horizontals, and it is the equipotential angle. But the rumpus pole being the separation of level and horizontal, or the unit of measure, is this what is labeled drop?
Yeah, that's what they're calling the Earth curve calculator now, is the differential between eye level and surface level. That's the purpose of the Earth curve calculator now.
Yeah, it's the equipotential
Yeah.
angle, right? They're keeping it
Yeah,
quiet, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the equipotential angle. And this, what you're seeing at the other end, the difference between the two, is a rumpus pole.
A wacky inflatable flailing arm tube man.
Absolutely. That's how you should envision it. Because like we said originally, seeing a rumpus pole won't really help you understand the rumpus pole and where it is and what it is.
But if you see a wacky inflatable flailing arm tube man, that makes a lot more sense.
Obviously globe, right?
Obviously globe.
That would have to be the dogmatic globe model. You wouldn't get to see a wacky inflatable wailing dancing rumpus poles if it weren't for the dogmatic globe, because we just wouldn't be here doing it. There would be no need to reciprocally cite rumpus poles if it were not for the dogmatic globe model. So that in itself proves that the dogmatic globe model must indeed exist.
No,
It doesn't.
It proves that this is dogmatic. That's what it proves.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that in the second picture, the last picture you posted in live chat,
yeah,
they are translating this optical drop into a curve of the Earth, let's say. But
you mean water?
Water, whatever. But optical principles are unchangeable. You cannot change this optical drop into curve, because in that case you are just removing optical principle from your vision, and this is impossible because this optical drop exists. But in their model, in this picture, there is no optical drop, because the whole optical drop is turning into curve. So where is optical drop?
It's just straight lines. The equipotential triangle is only made up of straight lines.
Yes, but why optical principles disappear?
So like topography, right? If you can't imagine there being no topography, then why? Maybe that's your problem. If you can't imagine there's no topography, then how are you ever going to place yourself to remove optics from your vision? Or is it removing vision from your optics? I don't remember. But it's much like removing topography from the land.
Yes, similar.
In your thought. Except it's visual rather than physical.
But optics, let's say principles of optics are the same wherever you are. So it doesn't matter if the Earth beneath you is curving, if you are on the mountain or whatever. Optics works, or should work, in the same way.
I've heard it works differently with temperature. I think we were listening to
or
somebody
pressure,
saying,
yes,
they-
or pressure,
yeah.
refraction, whatever. But in fact, these principles they are working perfectly in any conditions, and in that picture they are just removing optics. So
It's
this
not
is
really a picture. It's just a,
drawing.
some
Yes,
sort of a
yes. So
graph.
yes,
thing.
on this
Yeah,
graph they
Jesse
are
Kozlowski's done a few of those.
yes, and they are just removing this optics. They are just removing optics, and
Well, I
they
mean,
are
it may look like he's drawing a horizontal line slanted, but that has a scientific purpose to explain the equipotential surface at A being different to the equipotential surface at B.
yes, of course, this is their explanation. Yes, very scientific. Yes.
Sloping lines, label them horizontal plane. And that's obviously what must occur to a globe geometer, because that is entirely derived by the dogmatic model.
Yes, yes. So they are just removing optics. They are producing an orthographic view of what we see. And in orthographic view, we cannot see what we can see because
I don't think we see
perspective.
sloping horizontals.
No,
I don't see sloping horizontals.
no, of course not. But optical drop of the object is normal thing. So in optics, in vision, it is not dropping anywhere, but it is shrinking with distance in perspective. So as it is on the horizontal or the same plane as the second, this A and B, they are supposedly on the same, if they are on the same plane.
We don't really know about that. He just uses a visual line of sight. I just said that, in order to equate it to Emma's and Buster's advanced simplicity, the A and the B.
Yes, I am talking about plane because, in fact, what matters is elevation. So if they are on the same elevation, both auto levels, and if they are shooting horizontally, they are set to horizontal. So it doesn't matter what shape of the Earth is beneath them, because it is still a plane. You can draw a straight line between them, and this line will be horizontal on the base of them, and this horizontal line in crosshairs will be parallel to this horizontal on the ground, let's say. I'm not talking about the shape of the Earth. I'm talking about two lines. One,
What, they're all horizontals are parallel?
yes, and they. I'm not talking about the shape of the Earth.
That's implied, isn't it?
Hey,
I am talking
wait.
about vision.
I just wanted to show you the shots.
Or what?
Like,
you talking to us, Rob? You want to show us, or hot mic?
hot mic. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we are talking about line of sight. So line of sight at the base of the auto level and at the height of the crosshairs, these are the straight lines. So it doesn't matter if we have bumpy Earth as the ground, because we don't bother with the ground. We have just two straight lines, line of sight at the bottom of auto levels and at the crosshairs. So, and if they are, of course, vertical, let's say, so perpendicular to horizontal, in vision, in perspective, one auto level to each other, they will drop in perspective.
Oh, is that a
reality.
projection?
Yes,
Prediction?
this is this is prediction due to optics, and these optics are removed from this picture, so they are missing optics in this picture when they depict this equipotential angle of adjustment. They are removing, deliberately or not, optics, but they argument is what we see. And this is strange that they are removing optical argument, optical proof, and they are just trying to prove the shape of the Earth, so reality, physical reality, by removing optical principles. But they say we cannot see, or we can see something because of something. So there are two different, let's say, realms, optical realm and physical realm. And they are just removing optics. But they say that we can see due to, or cannot see due to curvature. So they are explaining optics with curvature of the Earth, so physically, but at the same time, when depicting that what occurs in reality, they are removing optics. So this is just weird for me.
Right, well, do you want me to give you one more example? I don't know whether this is more of a to take it out of angles and put you into lengths. I don't know whether you can see this. Everyone see that? This is a straight line. It says great circle line. So it's straight. We know that because it's a great circle, and great circles are straight.
Of course.
Yes. So there's 3 points. They're not marked on here, but for marked a rather really strange way. You've got A and B, the outside two, and then the center one has been called C. You with that?
Yeah.
They're not marked on here, but A, B, and C in the middle.
Sure.
Okay. Let me get to the next one. You can see that these have been measured, and this is the way that they get measured. So from A to B has a length, obviously. A to C has a length, and C to B has a length. So on a straight line, these things are measured from A to B, total distance, and then from A to the center point, and from B to the center point. Only 3 points. And as you can see, the center point overlaps, which means that we can form a triangle. Now, this triangle that's formed is called, obviously, the equipotential triangle. It's a triangle made up of straight lines, horizontal lines, I would call them on the thing. But there is an angle measured between them, which means that the center point of the line AB actually has to be higher than the center point of the straight line.
I don't know how they measured this as different. So
And then
why
what you can do with that is you can put that then triangle here like this, and add in arc lines, obviously, of a different length again.
how they measured distance from A to B? Because this is total distance, so between A and C, and they should add from C to B, and they would have outcome,
The midpoint,
score.
yeah.
But
Dogmatic globe proof.
yes, I would say, because I don't know how they measured that.
Is there anything other than dogmatic glow proof?
Exactly. I mean, the fact that you don't understand it, paper, is even more proof, right, of globe.
Yes, it is dogmatic. Yes,
It must be.
Has to be dogmatic.
Yeah, because the one thing that's quite sure of the fact is that paper or nobody else would understand it, whereas I do. I understand how they get this fully. I'm completely on board with it. In fact, this is the sort of thing that enables us to prove the globe dogmatic, is the fact that the equipotential angle only exists on the globe. And the fact that it's even in this diagram, right? There's an equipotential triangle. Equipotential triangles don't exist in reality, only on the dogmatic globe. And you see it there. He's drawn it. It must be real. Or it must be a real dogmatic globe. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed to draw that. This is one of the last surviving globe surveyors. He's sort of done a semi Kozlowski, whereas he's done a name change.
There's no such thing as a globe surveyor.
Don't know whether you might be doxing him, but I don't know whether you could say that. What his former name was. Let's just say the guy that told my son that triangles must have more than 180 degrees in reality is now called Shoebill. And he resides over there at the Gem Panda Discord server. Lives in solace and protected. Because obviously the last surviving globe surveyor needs to be shielded. You don't want them just wandering around.
Well, yeah, he's the only one of his kind.
Yeah.
Last
the only
living,
one of his kind.
Last living example, yes.
Yeah.
He's an endangered species.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can actually get him to post this sort of stuff. I did. I saw him posting this, and I thought that's perfect proof of the dogmatic globe. It's only like if Jesse Kozlowski were around and he was able to say anything about anything, this is the sort of stuff that Jesse Kozlowski would have to be saying. But unfortunately, Jesse Kozlowski isn't around anymore. Much like Rumpus, unable to explain this stuff. So they've left it in the hands of Shoebill. And Shoebill regularly puts his sermons out over at Gem Panda's debate flat Earth server. Obviously, a modern day debate, because the old traditional debate required arguments to be discussed, not with this modern day debate. Can you switch the kettle on for us? To make a brew. Yeah, so hopefully we might be able to get Larry to come and have a conversation about it, but I doubt it really. And to be honest, I think his diagrams already speak for themselves. I mean,
Yes, I wonder why they didn't add one distance to another distance. So it means that they have three separate measurements. This from A to C, from C to B, and from A to B. And from A to B doesn't match the sum of these two smaller distances somehow. But I don't know how they measured that.
I think they might have let Larry measure it. I mean, that's the only way to do it, really, isn't it?
For me, one way to measure distance in straight line is adding segments. So why they didn't add segments? This first segment from A to C and then from C to B. Problem solved. But how they separately measured from A to B?
Yeah, they measured three distances, obviously. A to B, and then they measured A to C, and then they measured B to C, or maybe C to B, and C to A. But they obviously measured three different distances. Well, actually, there must be five distances, because they don't seem to have got. There is another distance between A to C that you see that he's added in. He's made a nice rounded arc there, and that has a different distance also. So I don't know how he did it. Maybe he did some geodetic surveying measuring, right? But obviously not local. Where Bev going? What are you talking about, Kumu? Oh, Paige is talking about the brew. Yeah. Now that you're here, Paige, did you see the... Oh, look at that. Brad, the science guy's done another one for us. Look at all of them numbers. That's got to be dogmatic globe, that. I mean, look at it. It's even got refraction. Coefficient of refraction. Refraction measured. They measured refraction as well.
Yes, that's a miracle.
Genius. Curvature. It's got curvature on there as well. That's true globe surveying, that. It could only be. Is that Shoe Bill? Formerly known as the guy who told my lad that triangles have to have more than 180 degrees. And would they be using triangles with 180 degrees? I think they might be. Possibly. Right, Paige, you see this? Look at that. This page is Mick West's curvature calculator. And as you see here, he's got surface level. And then he's got perpendicular to surface level, which I think we called the geometric vertical, the one that's perpendicular to horizontal, and then it's got this other one here at the side, and then it's got a little angle there that says tilt. That is definitely the equipotential angle of adjustment, but it shouldn't be measured like that. I don't know, that's a little bit weird the way they've done that, but yeah, it's there. It's in the drawing, and this is from Mick West and the Metabunk curve calculator. So it's got pages proof and the angle between what we call pages proof is the equipotential angle of adjustment, the tilt of the vertical. It's there. It's been there all along. It just needs eyes to be able to see them, see the things that are going on. I will be doing this, so this needs to be voiced and put into a short video. But always, this particular argument, as Dunn stated quite a bit ago, we call it pages proof because when Rumpus was doing his drawings, Page was the only one that noticed it. Obviously, we were there and we were talking through it, but nobody else in the room. A bit like when SE was over in that other server earlier today and he got shut down. Page also got shut down for noticing something that may cause people to see a contradiction. Contradictions aren't liked, aren't like being exposed, but such is the job of the debunker. As you can see, Brad the science guy's posting a picture. He knows not what it means, but he's impressed with it. I mean, it looks impressive, doesn't it? Look at it. Look at the numbers, the angles. There's arrows pointing to things. There's letters and stuff. There's loads of numbers that don't really make any sense. That's a globe diagram, that. Brad the science guy hasn't got a clue what it means. Nobody has.
Yes, and she cannot see maybe that in this Mick West picture, this drop measured vertically is shorter than this Rumpus pole. So this Rumpus pole is entirely below surface level, but the drop allegedly measured drop in vertical is shorter than the Rumpus pole, but still Rumpus pole is not visible. So this is problem, because it begs the question that they are, if it can prove the globe, it means that here is begging the question, because if you measure vertical drop, it means that you are not accounting to the globe, the curvature. And this curvature is in diagram, and therefore this Rumpus pole is higher, it's longer than vertical drop, and it is not visible. So it means that this globe is begging the question here in this picture.
Here you go, Paige, you like this? Look at that. in honor of Paige's proof, we did the where do you place the rumpus pole in your mind? And do you place it perpendicular to the surface level, as depicted by Mick West? Or do you place it on the other vertical, or we call it the vertical like a testicle, in honor of Brad the Science Guy? Have we got that? We got that, where that came from. There's the traditional vertical and the vertical like a testicle. Let me see if I can find it. Brad the Science Guy. It was Brad, wasn't it? Have you got that there, Brad? Are you listening in? You post us that one, if you can find it. I don't know whether I marked it as Brad the Science Guy or not. I don't know whether I gave you a name for that one. Oh, the brainy beaver, child abuse stuff. It's not there. Brad, you'll have to help us out, mate. Has anyone got Brad's vertical like a testicle picture?
I have no clue so far.
Obviously, you can't label it vertical, right? You can't label both of those vertical because people would get confused. There's the vertical that's perpendicular to surface level, right? And then there's the vertical to the center. They both can't be labeled the same thing, otherwise people will get confused. So you have to label it differently. And Brad chose the spelling difference, vertical with the AL, the traditional vertical, and then the vertical like a testicle with the LE, the testicle vertical, for the other vertical.
But he is using, this is brilliant. He is using two geometries at the same time in the same picture.
Yeah.
So he's using Euclidean and overlapping non-Euclidean geometry.
Well, I mean, it's being depicted, so it's obviously Euclidean. But it's just a different idea of how to use Euclidean geometry. I think it's just drawing extra lines, really. I call it developing the angle.
What do you mean by developing the angle?
Well, originally, right, when we said you can do fuck all with an angle, right? Well, that's sort of what you're doing here, right? You're developing an angle. First off, you start off with the equipotential angle. Then you can close the other end of the opposite side, right, to the angle. You can close that off and you've then developed a triangle. Obviously, because you've developed a triangle, it depends at which point you're going to place your perpendicular. Do you place it perpendicular to the top line and develop your triangle that way? Or do you develop your triangle by making it perpendicular to the bottom line? Like, where do you place your rumpus pole in order to develop your triangle? And obviously, once you've developed a right angle triangle, you can then place similar angles, can't you? Similar triangles around the angle and maneuver that angle into different places.
Now that's fantastic.
It is, yeah. That's what I call developing the angle. And all you need is an angle, like Nathan Oakley said. I mean, he didn't want to give the secrets away back then because he had to keep it quiet, right, to help the globe, the dogmatic globe. Don't let anyone know that Nathan Oakley's, but yeah, developing the angle. The Globe team are fully on board with it. Flat Earth Society also fully on board with it. You may not know about it yourself because this is new mathematics. We've all been working closely with Ruhif and Rumpus, obviously. First off, you need the mathematical genius to close off the opposite side angle. That's the new mathematical leap that was made. The closing off of the angle. And then Rumpus, obviously, in order to prove that, brought in the idea of the Rumpus pole, the conceptual idea of closing off the equipotential angle with a Rumpus pole. And as we've already explained, all you need to do is reciprocate that for a foolproof, like a foolproof proof of the dogmatic globe.
Modern science is strange.
I know. It'll take you a bit to get with it, right? Because you might say for after a year or two of studying it, you may go, I don't understand it. And there's a very good reason for that. It's complete nonsense. Only to be understood by the Blue Marble Science geometer.
Yes, but if modern science is, at least in that regard of this model, it's nonsense, it is a proof that this model has to be dogmatic. Because you cannot prove anything, so it can be only dogmatic.
That's it. That's how you gain a dogmatic proof of the globe model. The fact that there is no actual proof is the dogmatic proof of the globe model. Can only be that way. And I'd suggest if you don't understand it, then that is further proof. Because it is very difficult to understand. Not many people can truly get to grips with the dogmatic globe geometry, particularly. That can escape people quite a lot. Even sometimes even contemplating it can be too much for the inexperienced. Because even at the conceptual start, once you have the straight line, sometimes even the straight line's too much for people to understand how the straight line has to be a circle.
Yes, and some people are contemplating pictures for 200 hours. So yes,
The need for
time.
you to contemplate pictures for 200 hours to even get a grip of it. I mean, I did remember the time where Ranty, I would have said it was gone mad. But I mean, now it was pretty obvious that he was severely contemplating pictures to find his stuff. I mean, he wasn't going mad at all.
Of course, he was just becoming genius.
Yeah, that was it. There's a fine line between madness and genius. And Ranty was contemplating genius. Maybe from the other side, I don't know. But he's another one that's done a Jesse Kozlowski. Or actually, he may be filming, doing his documentary on the life and times of Fight the Flat Earth. Post assault. He's doing well for himself.
So he is now biographer of Fight the Flat Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be following him on his debate, no doubt, with selling tickets, maybe. A bit of PR work. The horizontals are perpendicular to vertical. Brad's talking. Who's he talking to? Oh, Paige. Wonder if he's heard Emma and the enthymeme mix of Buster's.
Oh, Brad is saying yes, according to dogmatic model, because he's saying that horizontals, plural, are perpendicular to vertical, one vertical. So yes, it is according to globe model. Yes, that's correct. Because normally we would say that horizontals are perpendicular to verticals. But on the globe model, you can put only one vertical.
Yeah, you can't say verticals are perpendicular to horizontal. Right? You can't mix up.
Yes, you cannot
put an
you
S
cannot,
on the end of one of them.
Yes, you cannot exchange
and not the other. No, that's
in Euclidean geometry. You can say you can exchange.
Yeah.
You can say that horizontal is perpendicular to verticals, and you can say that verticals are perpendicular to horizontal.
Yeah.
And on the globe model, dogmatic globe model, you cannot invert that.
Yeah, you can say you have to add the S onto both, don't you?
You cannot. You cannot.
No, you have to remove the S from both. Or do you reckon the statement that vertical is perpendicular to horizontal will be out too?
No, I'm saying that if you say that one horizontal is perpendicular to verticals and one vertical is perpendicular to horizontals, yes, you can say that, and they cannot invert that. But furthermore, you can say that horizontals are perpendicular to verticals. You can say that, but on the globe model, dogmatic globe model, you cannot say that.
So which ones can you say then on the dogmatic globe model? Because nobody wants to be mistaken for a flat earther, right? Just in case, let's just say you want to go around and you don't want to give people the wrong impression that you might be a flat earther. Which of the statements is it okay for you to say regarding vertical and horizontal being perpendicular?
Vertical is perpendicular to horizontals, and horizontal is perpendicular to verticals. These statements both are okay for me, but in addition to that, I can say that horizontals are perpendicular to verticals, because it is no contradiction. But in dogmatic globe model, there is contradiction because you cannot have more than one vertical perpendicular to horizontal. So, and my statement, this last statement that horizontals are perpendicular to verticals is not about shape of the earth. So if someone will say that I am flat earther because of that statement, that would be non sequitur, but I don't care. In fact, it doesn't follow that all verticals are perpendicular to all horizontals. This statement is true, and it does not make me flat earther. But
Yeah,
for
well,
bloggers, maybe.
obviously, we're not talking about us here. We are all safe in the knowledge that we are not flat earthers. It's just in case if there is somebody listening in wanting to know, like, this sounds very confusing. Like, why is it that certain things are able to be said and certain things are not able to be said? Because I think if you say that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular, and that's sort of a statement that governs horizontal and vertical, but why, like, could you be able to say that on the globe? I propose that even that statement, it may be a little bit too much, because it could be mistaken that when you say vertical and horizontal are perpendicular, it could be assumed that you mean all. Like, because verticals are universal. Like, how do you make that statement without saying that horizontal and vertical are universals? I propose that I don't think there is a way to actually state that. I mean, I don't think there's a way to state things about the perpendicularity relationship between vertical and horizontal without people being able to perceive, at least, that you're a flat earther. At least by the Blue Marble scientific standards.
No, I don't care about Blue Marble science standards, but still implication of that statement, if vertical is straight line and horizontal is straight line, and they are perpendicular, you can say that you can produce infinite number of verticals and infinite number of horizontals. So you can say that all horizontals are perpendicular to all verticals.
Yeah, I would have.
No problem for me.
I would have said that when I first come in, and it still isn't a problem for me to state that because I'm safe in the knowledge. Like I say, I'm not a flat earther. But there are people out there that, upon hearing that, would state that that's not what occurs on the globe model.
On dogmatic, yes.
They don't qualify the dogmatic, right? Which makes it very confusing to people when they hear, that doesn't happen on the globe. They do actually mean that doesn't happen on the dogmatic globe, because the dogmatic globe makes statements about vertical and horizontal that contradicts a Euclidean understanding, and maybe most people's understanding.
Yes, but if people cannot discern between dogmatic globe model and real globe model, so this is their problem. They cannot see that, of course. They think that dogmatic globe model is the real globe model. They don't know that they are different. So they are equivocating one with another. Wrongly, of course, but they don't know that. So bliss of ignorance.
Get a brew done.
Right, I am off to bed.
Okay, thank you very
Finally.
much for joining us,
Good
Paper.
night.
Thank you. Early night for Paper. Oh, so please don't forget, coming up, it is this Saturday, isn't it, Mike? It's been confirmed. This Saturday, UK time, 10 a.m. early again. I think it's 5 a.m. ish dog walking time for the American, I don't know, Central. Let's say Central. 5 a.m. dog walking time. And the best thing to do when you're dog walking early Saturday morning is have a debate about I keep forgetting. Is it rational? I love that. It's a genius title, that one, Betty. Thank you very much. Is it rational is it rational to know that level is horizontal and believe in Earth being a globe? For modern day times, that's a really good question. Look, there's God rocking back again. Water isn't flat over large distances, God rocking. I don't know why you come in with that. It isn't. Like, water always goes to the shape of the container. How can that be flat? It's really weird. Have you ever seen a water level? Like do you want to see the water in a water level being flat? Because that's really ridiculous. Anybody wants to debate water being flat? I will debate that stupid shit. Yes. I'm going to reply him. Right, let me just reply to this guy. No, it isn't. There you go. So I was going to go over something. But I'm thinking now I'm going to have to make some short videos or shorter videos just to explain these things. What we do here of a night time is basically just have a chat, go over things, me waffling. And obviously we give chance for other people to talk. Now, Blue Marble Science obviously will be seething at Paper not being able to understand how auto levels work and the Blue Marble surveying department. Paper doesn't accept tool abuse as a valid art of armchair surveying. He doesn't even accept the Blue Marble Science surveyor being able to extract information from pictures taken by other people. So, the experiment, we'll get back to that. The equipment, I think I don't know, it depends how much equipment we're going to need. We might see if anybody knows anybody that is in the UK around the area that wants to get involved in it, that maybe has a dinghy we can get on the thing. I can't really see the use in us. I don't think we're going to get any more use out of the dinghies. The laser waving probably will be a one-time deal. I can't see the need for us to do laser waving in dinghies anywhere else other than Bedford. It'll only need to be done once, obviously, and we only get one shot at getting Emma in a dinghy at Bedford. I can't imagine that happening multiple times. So laser waving in dinghies. We've got optical tests within, I call it the Fata Morgana, but I mean band. We're going to have to find out something else to call it. We'll show it you. It's hard to name certain things like this, but they're the optic tests that I want to go down there and see. We need to test the P1000s and what we can get to disappear. And, of course, the big cell, the reciprocating rumpus poles, the simultaneous below. Proof, dogmatic proof of globe. Given to you through the On The Level Discord server. Will people call this proof? Well, how can they not? It's going to be verified as a necessity on the dogmatic globe by any self-respecting globe model believer. And you may think that it contradicts the fact that all horizontals will be parallel to the plane of the horizon, making all horizontals parallel to each other. But that in itself is a dogmatic proof of globe. The fact that an actual proof has to be denied in order for this rumpus pole to be cited. I'm not too sure, Paige, whether God Rocking is a dogmatic globe believer. I think there are a lot of lost souls within this arena that may have been taught things from people rather than actually coming in here and having a discussion with us and having a conversation with us. They get told things by other people at silly times like 5 a.m. You get people like Jesse Gordon could be telling him really strange things about what we do here. He does keep coming in asking us stupid questions. Yeah, stupid questions. But it doesn't mean just because somebody's asking stupid questions that he's necessarily a dogmatic globe believer, right? He could just as easily be a dogmatic Flat Earth Society member. There's no difference, really. Globe Earth, dogmatic globe, Flat Earth Society. Yeah. Is there any difference, really? I'd say not. I would also say, if you disagree, come on in. Have a conversation. Tell me how I've got it wrong and how the Flat Earth Society is any different than the dogmatic globe believer. Maybe I have got it wrong. I will always here to be corrected. I only know what I've been told, and since all of the stuff that you learn in this arena isn't taught in schools, you can only go from what you've been told, and obviously Googled. Whatever you can Google for yourself, you can find that. Maybe you've watched a few YouTube videos. Maybe you've seen some dogmatic globe surveyors tell you what seems to be unbelievable things. Or maybe you've just imagined that they've told you to believe unbelievable things. Maybe they didn't actually say it at all. And I guess now we're here to do this. No, Emma doesn't like it, but debunking. We are here to debunk. And let's see, did I get that a clip of Jessica Gordon? I think I did, didn't I? Let me check. I put them in here, I think. Right, now this, I got up this morning. We'll go over this. This is a guy called Jesse Gordon. Now, Jesse Gordon was introduced to this arena by a guy called Jesse Kozlowski. Let me get that. Is that okay? Yeah, I know it's hard to read. I don't want to stretch it too much. This is Jesse Gordon. He hangs around in Geo's what's it called? Earth Awakenings Discord server. And this was posted at 5 a.m. my time. Luckily, we have our people out there scouting at all times of the day, finding this sort of stuff. Otherwise, this sort of go unnoticed. I'd never know about this unless somebody tells me about it. I'm not aware of people posting these sort of things while sleeping. So this is Jesse Gordon. He says, "Hey guys, I have a question. This is a genuine question about the psychology relating to flat earthers." So Jesse Gordon is he has genuine questions relating to psychology about flat earthers. Now, who would you suggest he's asking this question to? Psychology students? I mean, if you wanted to know about the psychology of flat earthers, where do you think you should go and ask? Blue Marble scientists? Who is the people that you should ask? Well, Jesse Gordon's asking the people of Earth Awakening server. He says, "I frequently hear flat earthers complaining in VC that globers won't hold each other accountable and make it out as if flat earthers do hold each other accountable. I present here one," they've tried thinking, me. This is who he was presenting me. "Making a bad faith argument." What is the bad faith argument? Well, Jesse Gordon will go on to tell you. Remember, this is the 5 a.m. Post about a bad faith argument and the psychology of flat earthers. I don't know what I've got to do with this, because everybody knows I'm not a flat earther. He says, "Here he is attempting shed doubt on the validity of my theodolite measurements on the grounds that I had repaired the instrument. He full well knows that the repairs I did were either cleaning, replacing the contacts in the battery compartment because they had corroded, or rebuilding the removable battery pack in the case of the ones with the rechargeable batteries because the old batteries weren't holding a charge anymore. He also knows that I did not do any repairs at all to some of my units, and that they all give the same missing height measurements as each other, which rules out the possibility that the ones I fixed the batteries in were somehow reading incorrectly due to having their batteries replaced. He also 100% knows that his own auto level, which was at the time still in calibration certification, also gave the same missing height readings as my theodolites gave. My auto level has never measured a missing height, because I don't know about you, measuring something that's missing is impossible, but this is Jesse Gordon we're dealing with, fully deluded blue marble scientist. He says, in other words, he 100% knows that my globe matching missing height measurements are not a result of me having done repairs to my instrument. Brackets, he has used this argument numerous times before as well, as that it doesn't have an unexpired calibration sticker on it, fallacy argument, and we've discussed it and he knows already, which is why he backed away from it so quickly this time. Now, if that doesn't make any sense, don't worry. It doesn't make any sense. He spoke of an argument and then didn't mention an argument, only within his deluded mind. But I mean, he's obviously talking about something that nobody else understands. And he says, and yet he still tries to use what he knows as a bad faith argument to shed doubt on my measurements. Do the flat earthers here think that that's okay? Why would anyone want to even make an argument like that? Let me just see if I can find the argument that he's talking about. Here it is. Is it? No. Maybe this one. There it is. This one. This one here. This is the argument that Jesse Kozlowski woke up at, posted at 5 o'clock this morning asking about the psychology of flat earthers. And what it states is, I said, Jesse Gordon states, I measured 7 inches per mile squared. So he measured 7 inches per mile squared, which is a formula. Impossible to measure a formula. But Jesse Gordon said that's what he measured. And I said, you measured an angle with a tool you fixed up. A statement of fact. Pointing out. No argument here. Yeah. And then he says, so what? The battery compartment had some corrosion. I cleaned up the contacts. What's your point? Actually, that one just had dead batteries. I replaced them with fresh batteries. Some with other ones needed the battery contacts cleaned. Why should a rebuilt battery pack invalidate my measurements? And I said, again, sorry, I should have said you measured an angle and falsified Rowbotham's 8 inches per mile squared. You may not have noticed that there was no argument there. It was just the stated fact that Jesse Gordon had measured an angle, which Jesse Gordon seems to have got upset about me mentioning the fact that he measured an angle, and has mistaken that with some sort of bad faith argument. Seems like Jesse Gordon is deluded. Professor Parks is talking about me. Somebody said, okay, I'm just not seeing those comments is all. I'm sorry Bev did that. What did Bev do? And then he says, to be fair, I have read a number of F.E. Bash, Bev, and his claims. Don't have any specific evidence, but it is my recollection. Yeah, Nathan Oakley said that you could do something with an angle. While he's in there as well. You can falsely... What? What's that? Falsely FA with an angle. Wally, that looks like... I'd call that libel. Where you put something that somebody said that didn't say within a quote mark and then put their name after it. That's libel. That's literally how libel is done, Wally. You say that somebody said something when they didn't say it. Literal libel, Wally. The claim is, Wally, that you can do fuck all with an angle. We know that Flat Earth Society and the Globe Earth Society joined together in both stating that that is possible. Actually, you can do something with an angle. Nathan Oakley named his angle. I've recently learned that you can do better. You can label the angle an equipotential angle. Imagine rumpus poles closing off the angles. You can then imagine similar triangles, and you can position the angle in multitude of different places, which means you can maneuver the equipotential angle into multiple different positions through the use of similar triangles. Now, this may sound fantastic, but it is within the canon of the dogmatic globe. Not many people know of it. It's a closely guarded secret. And as of this moment, you have to be able to come into Discord. I will disclose it to you. And eventually I will disclose it to everybody within video form. The best way to do this is through YouTube video. So you added falsify for fun when you were libeling me. For fun, Wally. That's nice. Just add in different things for libel use, for fun. It's good. It's a good joke, Wally. Obviously. But hey, don't worry about it. It's you, Wally. It's some sort of thing that's become to be accepted within this arena, right? Everybody knows that there are certain people who are mad, crazy, insane, model afflicted, totally globe. And that's new modern day societal values, isn't it, Wally? You just add some extra stuff in. If you think, I could quote somebody, but I mean, why not make it libel? Why not add something in that they didn't actually say and then carry on quoting them? That's okay. It's acceptable. It's allowable. It's become acceptable for people to just libel people, like Jesse Gordon did at 5 a.m. Like Rob Parks does. What? Oh, like Wally's saying now, yeah. Wally says, yes, everybody knows that attributing a made-up quote to a person is acceptable for fun. That's Wally of the Wolfpack, the originating member of the Wolfpack. Says it's acceptable. Libeling people is now a modern day acceptable fun thing for people like Wally. Because Wally, like it's acceptable for Wally to people. Wally says stupid shit anyway, without people needing to libel Wally. But Wally feels the need to libel other people for fun. Well, when I say other people, he's the one that's coming on the YouTube channel here and libeling me to anybody else that's watching. It's fun. It's the sort of thing that the model afflicted do for fun anyway. I'm not so sure what class of people modern day consider libeling people fun. But I guess you could definitely put in the model afflicted. I would anyway. Because it doesn't really matter how you are model afflicted. I don't think people like the idea of being shown their own contradictions. Please don't do that. Like that'll just justify it all for him. Can you delete it, Paige, please? I'm not too keen on people doing it. just said it. What? It's libel, Wally. If you write it down. Yes, that's what libel is. And I know you did manage to make Paige do it. It's spoken word, Wally, is slander. But it's not slander to point out when other people are libeling. That's not a slander, Wally. It's, I don't know, legal matters, libel, slander, but writing something down, a quote, misrepresenting somebody and then putting their name to it as though they did say it, that is old school libel. But we're living in modern day times. There is no police of the internet anymore. The normal standards for societal values seem to have gone out of the window with the new modern day scientist, the blue marble scientist. It's a sad part of modern day. I don't think we're ever going to get away from it. Possibly going to get worse. All that really matters is the ability of us all to communicate. And if we all choose to communicate like Wally, where we are libeling each other for fun through text, then it's not really going to go down too well for the rest of society. It's not really a good footing to start off with. And I think that's where we've been for quite a bit within a certain arena of model afflicted people. It has become acceptable to slander and libel in order to shut down conversations. Not here, and it's not really going to happen anymore. Wally, your troubled mind. I might have to ban you, Wally, again, for your own good. If you don't fix your game, Wally, you will be banned from the YouTube. You're not any help to anyone. And I don't even know if you're allowed. Are you allowed to comment on any video if you've been banned, or is it just from the YouTube? Because I'm not really too bothered about Wally's comments on the YouTube, although it would stop you conversing with Mike on these chats anyway. Yeah. So there you go. Be warned, Wally. You'll have to go to a sock account. Like all of your friends. Please don't libel. And don't slander as well. There's no need for doing that. But we know that Wally doesn't really talk that much, so it'd be quite hard for Wally to slander. Although, if I were to put all of the bits together, I guess you could say that there's been a lot of that sort of stuff going on. I would like to go over one picture before we go. This is also from Jesse Gordon. Can everyone see that picture? This says, this is Jesse Gordon. I went over this with my missus this morning. And just to give you an idea of what's going through other people's heads as you're looking at this, right? Now, I don't know where people look and what people see first whenever you're looking at this. Do you read the comment that Jesse Gordon does first? Do you just look at the picture, try and make sense of the picture? Or, and then do you read it all? So, I mean, first off, I would say the first thing is, because it's the brightest thing, you're looking at the picture, the meme that's been drawn. This is Jesse Gordon. So let's scrutinize this. It says, on a flat earth, light would have to curve upwards. Now, that's a statement that's made, or a claim that's been made by this meme. And then there's a picture of some triangles and a curved line that's curving upwards. That may be depicting light, but then the light at the top, there is a straight line there, which he's saying, I don't know what he's saying. I mean, that couldn't happen. I don't know. So he says, and here's what would have to be happening if Earth is flat. He says at the bottom, you can see the little guy would see the building as being below him because that's the angle of the light when it reaches his eyes. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all, does it? In fact, it's less than sense. It's nonsense. It literally doesn't mean anything. You can't make any sense out of it whatsoever. And even asking a question, well, you'd be scared to ask a question because you would fear for understanding even less after you've asked the question. You go backwards in your understanding, if that's even possible. And this is the state of the guy that's after some psychological advice from people over there at GeoServer. Psychological advice of flat earthers. Jesse Gordon. The one also that's talking about me. Now, there is other pictures. Just so you know. If this image is supposed to be depicting curved light, then it's quite the shame that the light captured to make the image itself is all straight lines. Yes. Like, just in case you wanted to know what it should look like, this is the further picture. There you go. So here's what's happening, or what would have to happen on a flat earth to make light curve, and here's what happens on a globe. Do you get that? This one, this is globe, and this is what would have to happen on a flat Earth? Now, whether you actually see these things the same, or whether they're two completely different things, or whether he's just on top of a hill here, who knows? I mean, look at him. Do they look similar? Right? And if this is what you see in reality is on globe, this is on a globe, then in order for you to be on a flat Earth, if you're on a globe, this is what you would have to see, with light curving upwards. If you can't work that one out, right, you may just be I don't know, because this is what would have to happen if you were a flat Earth. And to be honest, I'm not too sure even if any flat earthers would have to acknowledge that the fact that that's what would have to happen if they were actually on a flat Earth. Because, I mean, looking at that, you'd think, well, that could never happen. So obviously it's not a flat Earth. But most of us already know that it's obviously not a flat Earth. But I don't imagine that if it were to be a flat Earth, that's what I would see. Because if it were a flat Earth, there would be no elevation changes. So why would light have to curve upwards? There would be no upwards, would there? I don't know. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Jesse Gordon's the new guy. Look at that. Look at it. Yeah, there's a line AB. That is common to both AB, AB. The line is the same. It's just that the top of this triangle touches B, and the top of this triangle touches the other line. I don't get it. I really don't get it. The absurdity. It's madness, isn't it? And when what Jesse Gordon is doing, is considered an argument, is it any wonder that they struggle with actual arguments, knowing what an argument is? Because stating what would happen on an impossibility first at the opening part of your argument isn't the best way to start an argument. Don't be thinking that this is a normal behavior. For argumentation, it is a normal behavior for Jesse Gordon. However, I'm still waiting for Jesse Gordon to reply to me about the libel that he did for us about the psychology. I would state that it sounds like Jesse Gordon is going through a mental break at the moment. So I don't know whether he's able to communicate coherently with us. But I would suggest that it's a pretty good idea to actually come and have a conversation with us, Jesse, rather than putting out posts at 5 o'clock in the morning talking about how your I don't know whether your mental break's going. I don't know. I can't help you at 5 o'clock in the morning if you're obsessed with me. Sorry. If you get in touch, Jesse, if you're listening, probably not. But if you're out there, if anybody knows Jesse Gordon, probably there's somebody listening that knows Jesse Gordon, get in touch with us or get in touch with Jesse. He might need a help. Yes, Paige, could be some sort of an argument keeping people up. He might have took on the role of the globe surveyor, and it troubles quite a few. You've got to be very careful with globe geometry and globe logic. Everybody, please be careful when attempting any globe geometry, globe logic, or in conversation with any claimed globe surveyors. You are under serious risk of a nutsacking. Keep your mind safe. Keep it active and keep it doing actual logic. Try and get rid of all of those contradictions. Don't save them up. They're nothing to be proud of, holding multiple contradictions. Possibly dangerous. List of acceptable paradoxes coming soon. We're preparing them. If anybody wants to come and get involved in any of the stuff we're doing, you know where we are. On Discord, on the level. Yeah, it's time we start selling this place. This is one of the best places for me and multiple other people. You want an honest conversation? This is where you come. It may be challenging, and it may cause you pain, real physical pain or mental pain, anguish. And sometimes you may feel like you're going mad. But dispelling these contradictions is like getting rid of the little demons. Like an exorcist. Well, that'd be good. Could I be a contradiction exorcist? If you want to join me here at on the level and learn also how to be a contradiction exorcist. Debunking. Emma doesn't like debunking, but I mean, what do you reckon? Contradiction exorcist. That sounds much better, doesn't it? You don't have to get a gown or anything like that. Carry around crosses. But it does have the similarities, doesn't it? Dispelling. Yeah, I could get into that. We will expel the contradictions. Unless you want to keep them. Obviously. Most people are unaware of them. But they are like little demons. There's a lot of ECV related to these contradictions. Your mind doesn't want to allow you to place these two things together. So does move your mind, your thoughts away from that. Because it's protecting itself. It's protecting you. Sometimes this is a bit too much pain. Mental pain, sometimes physical pain. Who knows? Well, only you know. Just check a couple of messages, and then I think we're due for finishing. Is Rob out there still? I was thinking we were going to do a Betty. Oh, look at that. No way. Trust, faith, and logic. How can you contrast trust and faith with logic? Please don't forget to keep up to date with us, because there is a fantastic debate coming this weekend. Is it rational to know that level is horizontal and believe the Earth is a globe? Fantastic. Please come and join us. Join us in the new debunking community that we are, exposing contradictions and the nonsense. Contradictions and nonsense, but there's all sorts of nonsense. And I don't think it's a hard job. Actually, it's one of the most fun things you can do, is becoming a debunker. I've never laughed. I think there's quite a few of us that have said over the last few weeks we've never laughed as much ever, because
from both sides.
Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? And the learning that we've been doing. Euclid, logic, philosophy. There is a wonderful group of people all held together by Emma. Thank you very much, Emma. And please listen to the Advanced Simplicity song, the new Advanced Simplicity. I've called it the enthymeme, and that's more important than you realise. But having a good foundation, not only in life, for structures, for building, for anything. This particular one is the foundation for an argument. We call it the argument. And it starts off with these 2 points, A and B, all within one song. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this one song now. And we're going to go out. Is it Hump Day tomorrow? I think it might be. Okay.
Yeah, today's
Tuesday
all day.
Okay. It's coming. It's nearly Hump Day. Join us tomorrow. I'm gonna. I want to start doing some more of the philosophy stuff. So we do have another course to start. I hope everybody else has also finished their courses and got their own certificates. I hope it's not just me. I hope everybody else is getting their certificates. We're going to go and do the ethics, morals and ethics course. And at the same time, we're going to build an argument from the ground up. And it starts here. Join us tomorrow on the Level Discord. Come and join us. See you tomorrow.
So let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long stretch of water. This water is straight and level and does not flow.
Advanced simplicity takes hold. You'll find the truth from things of old.
So let me give you a hypothetical. I want you to imagine a 6-mile long straight stretch of water. At each end of this straight stretch of water is a bridge. Point A to So you've got two bridges. Point B. This water is straight and level and does not flow. At each end of this water is a bridge. Point A, point B. At each bridge, there is a plumb bob hanging down to the water.
We are on the road,
Even altitude.
suspending judgment until the truth is known. You will find peace within.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
Now, on these vertical strings, can you imagine an even altitude? A point at an equal height above the surface of the water below.
Advanced simplicity takes hold.
An even
You'll
altitude.
find the truth from things of old.
And on these vertical strings, can you imagine 2 points? So let me give you a hypothetical. Can you imagine point A and even altitude at these points and point B? And on these vertical strings, we can establish a perpendicular and even altitude and call one point A and the other point B. 2 points. Point A, point B, even altitude.
We are on the road,
2 points.
suspending judgment until the truth is known.
Point A,
You will find peace within.
point B.
In the midst of all these troubled souls.
The point at an equal height above the surface of the water below. Point A, point B. Point A, even altitude. Point B.
There's no end game in mind.
Is the shortest distance between those 2 points?
It's only the truth that we seek to find.
We know the shortest distance
There's no end game in mind.
between 2 points is a straight
It's
line.
only the truth that we seek to find.
Now, here's the question I'm asking myself. How can the distance between these 2 points be anything other than horizontal? Horizontal. Horizontal.
Everyone must see it for
Horizontal.
themselves. The truth
2
is there
points.
for you to find.
And then ask yourself, and the water.